Hi everyone, it's Deborah here, and I'm continuing with my op shop challenge that I've thrown down for Nat Williams for the month of January. So I'm going today to attempt to do a button card, because I really love button cards. So I've gathered my supplies. I've got a page that's got no flowers on it, which is from the flower book that I'm using in my journal, so I'm going to use that. I have a needle, because you're allowed to use needle and thread. I got chipped from my last video. One of the ladies commented and said that I'd kind of broken the rules because I had actually used a commercial product, which is the commercial whiteout that I use. And yes, I did break my own rules. I'm sorry, but it's done now and I can't go back on it. All I can do is apologise. So this is my tub of wooden cotton reels that I collect from the vintage shops. Sometimes I pick them up and the ladies will say, oh, you haven't got enough cotton on there, it's, you know, not worth paying for that, is it? And I say, well, I actually am not collecting them for the cotton, I'm collecting them for the actual reels themselves with the gorgeous old labels and things on them. So very hard to get. That's actually a plastic one, I think, but never mind. I've also got a whole bunch of little ones in here. These are new ones, so I won't be using any of them. But here I've got a couple of blacks. That's a, oh no, I think that's a brown. It's very dull today. We've got a lot of overcast weather lately. I don't know whether it's the smoke down south that's causing it, but it's a bit annoying. So this one, yeah, this is a black thread. It's actually a J&P Coates thread, 400 yards. Isn't it gorgeous? An old wooden rule. It's a chain. Is that what it is? A chain. Is that 400 yards? I can't remember those sorts of measurements anymore. Anyway, I'm going to use that cotton. Don't want to break any more rules. And then I've got this pack of stuff. I've no idea what's in here, except I got it at the op shop for $1.50 ages ago. And I just had a look in my button box and found this. So I thought I'd see what we've got here. Gosh. Some pins and needles, bunch of buttons. So there's a few buttons that I might use. Oh, look, packet of needles. I might use that in my junk journals. It's lovely old 10 cents, that one. Oh, look at the hooks and eyes. It's lovely too. This is actually a new label that they've stuck on it. What a pity. Or maybe it was put on. I'd like to get that off, but I don't know if I'll do that yet, but we'll put that aside. And more sewing needles, plastic eye fasteners. Oh, some machine needles. Okay. Golf. You never know what you're going to get in these boxes, do you? Oh, unopened packets of cotton. That's a navy and that's a black, but I think I'll stick with the colour I'm going to use, that older looking one. A whole heap of other little bits and pieces. I was hoping for some cream ones, but maybe I'll just do an assortment. I'm not sure. Okay, let's get started. But first of all, I've got my trimmer out, and you're allowed to use trimmers. And I'll just clarify again, you can use scissors, but just your standard scissors that you use for your craft. You can't use pinking shears or decorative edge scissors or anything like that, but you can use scissors, you can use a needle, you can use a sewing machine, those sorts of things. So we have been getting quite a lot of questions still about it, and I think I also have updated the list, and I will add it again to the bottom of this video in the description area, so you can check out the new list. Now, does that look the right size for a button card? Maybe. Let's compare it to... Yeah, it's not too bad, I don't think. Okay. And then I'm just going to do some sewing. So let's get going. Now, normally a button card would have different buttons. Well, it'd have all the same buttons, wouldn't it? But I'm going to do them different because I don't have all of the same ones. So I'm just going to And I think it would have, I don't have one handy at the moment, but I think it would have 6 or 8 buttons on it. So maybe I'll do 8. Actually, I might do 7 so that it looks a bit odd. Let's see what other colours I've got. I've got this white one here. Yep. This is a bit too matchy, that one. No. Yep. And this is just going to be part of my journal. So I'm going to, once I've finished, I'll tuck this into a pocket or something and still be able to write on the back of it. And just for decoration, you can have it for that. And I like that I want to use the black thread. I'm going to double that thread up. Now, even if you're not a sewer, you should be able to do something like this. I've been sewing since I was a kid, and I sew all the time on the machine, and I'm terrible at hand sewing, I have to tell you, absolutely shocking. I'm just going to put those so that they stay in some semblance of order, and start at the back and see how we go. The main thing is don't poke your hands so that you don't, because that hurts when you stick a needle through your hand or your finger. I know, I've done it many times. It doesn't hurt as bad as a nappy pin though. They were the terrible ones. Although people these days don't have those wonderful experiences that we had certainly when I raised my children, because there's no such things as cloth nappies anymore. I'm sure there are, but people don't use them, which is, I guess, good and bad. Bad for the environment, I think, although you had to wash them anyway, so I guess that's bad. And also, that was my favourite thing. Not that I like washing, but I loved seeing my white nappies flapping on the line. It was one of my pleasures of the day. Okay. So I'm just going to sew them, and I'm going to sew, this one's got 4 holes. In fact, I managed to choose buttons that all have 4 holes. I might swap some of those out because I want to get some variety in how I'm sewing them. So with this one, I'm just going to do it as a straight line one. So I'm going to have 2 straight lines on it like that. And then with the next one, I'm going to crisscross it. I think I'll crisscross it. Once you get it started, it seems to be quite easy to find the holes. So that's quite secure enough. And now I'm going to do another one, but just before I do that, I'm actually going to come over here and I'm going to do some row of crosses. I don't know why, just to make it decorative. So I've just put 1 stitch on an angle there, and I'm just going to go over the back now and come out again on the other side. This is the right side I'm showing you here, and I'm just doing, I've got quite a long length of thread, so it's likely to get caught. And then I'm going to go in again into that same hole that I started, so it's a bit thicker. Has a bit more depth, I think, this way. And then out the other side. My thread's getting a bit tangled. Like I said, I'm not a very good hand sewer at all. Then I want to do another stitch. I'm going to go across here, and then I need one up here, so around about here and over. So this is the sort of thing that you can do even if you still want to purchase new embellishments, and I mean, who doesn't? I love purchasing new stuff, but sometimes I think it's a really good break for your mind to just sit and make some things yourself rather than just having them on the table. You actually have to think, what am I going to make today to embellish my journal? And I really think this is a lovely way of bringing out your creativity as well. Yes, you can certainly be creative with things that are pre-purchased. There's no doubt about that. As I said, I purchase things all the time. But I just think there's something really nice about the rhythm of creating something of yourself, and particularly the rhythm of stitching. I make quilts and I hand stitch the borders on, and it's, you just think, wow, these people in, America used to sit there and make all their quilts by hand like this without sewing machines, and the rhythm of that and the chatter that went on around the table, because I used to do it in quilt circles back in the day, must have been really lovely to sit and talk to people. And I guess we do have that to some extent, because we do have crops, scrapbooking crops and things. Haven't seen any junk journaling crops as yet, or junk journaling retreats. Maybe that's something we should start here in Australia. So I've got 3 little random stitches on the page there. Let's bring it up so you can see it, because that light's reflecting a little. And now I'm going to sew another button down. I'm at the back, so I'm just going to come up through the front. And this one, as I said, I'm going to do a cross stitch rather than a straight stitch across it. I know we've got quite a few people joining us in the challenge now, which is wonderful, and I do hope that more people will join in. You've still got time. You've got until the 30th of January, and you don't have to complete a journal. I'll just stress that again. You can just make some pages from a journal, but yeah, if you just make some pages, and we'd love you to share them with us, Nat and I. So she has a YouTube channel as well, and so you can go and share them on your YouTube channel and just tag us so that we know. Or if you're on the Facebook group, the Australian Facebook group Junk Journal Junkies Down Under, you can also tag us or share your photographs on there. And then, as we've mentioned before, certainly I've mentioned a number of times, and so has Nat, if you comment on one of our result videos, so something like this one for example, then you will go into the draw to win a prize. And I've made a decision on what that prize is going to be, so I'm going to show you that at the end of this video. So stay tuned, won't you? Because unfortunately I'm only opening the prize of eligibility to people in Australia. The cost of postage from Australia to anywhere else in the world, because of our distance from everything, is horrendous. If you don't live in Australia, you can still join in the challenge. I'd like to see what you do when you limit yourself in number of supplies. That would be really interesting to see what other people do. A couple of the girls have already finished, and I've seen what they've done, and it's pretty amazing really what you can achieve with just some book pages and some things that you purchase from an op shop. So I'd still welcome seeing what you've done, and just put it in the comments section so that I can go and have a look. And that'll be fun to see what other people have done. Okay, I've got 3 buttons on there, so I'm just going to keep going and put the rest of the buttons on here, and then this will become an embellishment in my journal. And I'm also going to just ink the edges, and I will show you again before I put my journal together. But right now I just wanted to show you what the prize is going to be. If you comment on one of my videos, this is the 3rd one that I've made about this op shop challenge, or one of Nat's videos, or if you leave us a comment on the Facebook group, which is called Junk Journal Junkies Down Under. What I've decided to give as the prize is my Alice in Wonderland journal. I do actually have 2 of these because I ran several classes on how to make this, and so because I've got 2, I thought I can afford to give one away as a prize. And I hope that the people who are joining in and leaving me comments and things enjoy this if they win it. It'll just be a random number draw based on the entries or the comments that we get across the different platforms. So this is my Alice journal, and you've seen this already if you've watched some other my videos. And here's the pop-up in the centre. I've actually got a video on that now as well, so you'll be able to have a look at how I made that, even if you don't win this as a prize. So that's what the prize is, and I will be posting that out to the winner for free, and hopefully they will treasure it. So this is Deborah. Thanks very much for watching, and I will catch you next time. Cheers.